have all that you wanted. Darling, know the world is yours. I've been up chasing the sunsets just to.
Welcome to the Sparkle Show. With us, we have three super talented men. They act, direct, produce. I think some of them right. Tell us who you guys are. Introduce yourself. Lorenzo, you go first.
Hello. Yes, I am Lorenzo Leonard. Very excited to be here on the Sparkle Show. How are you doing, Miss Sparkle?
We're doing great. So you've done a million things. Give us a little synopsis before we get to your friends.
Oh, okay. Well, we work together as a team, so it's hard for me to say I do just one thing and they do another. Because that's what's so good about working with From the Earth Productions is it really is a team effort in every aspect.
So what's your part of the team? What do you typically do that's like your job?
Well, of course, I act in it, and then I'll do the writing.
Okay.
Okay. We have an idea. I'll do the first draft, get that out of the way, and then Telly, he's super smart. He's got all these big words and these fancy things. So then I give it to him, and he updates it, and makes it all great. So, but acting and writing, producing.
So Telly, tell us about yourself and what you do.
Well, I mainly do the development part and the production. So I write and I direct, and I did a little bit of acting in the beginning, but I didn't think that was for me. So I just focus more on the writing and the directing, the producing. So that's where my niche is.
And Henry, last but not least, tell us about yourself.
My main responsibility is music composition. I play piano since I was 13 years old. Found it as a great passion of mine, so started doing composition recently, right after we had our film production company established. And also do some visual effects. I think it's kind of fun to play around with the software, making people disappear or turn into a ghost or whatever. So yeah, I mostly do post-production works and a little bit of acting, of course, just for the fun side.
Gosh, post-production is so much work. You're the one that really does all the nitty-gritty stuff, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why I'm getting all the gray hair coming off.
Well, okay, so you guys each play a part. How did the three of you connect? How long ago did that happen?
Wow, it was actually.
Oh wow, that goes way back. I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I guess. Right, Telly?
I
think the first time we met Lorenzo.
Yeah, at least 10 years ago.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it was. I think that the way we met Lorenzo is it's some sort of a school project that he wants to do with us, and he wasn't really in the mood to take on any more small projects. It just turns out that he chose to work with us for the very last time, and then boom, 15 years later, we're good partners and good friends.
Yeah. So the school production, it was a college production. Did you guys all go to school together?
So I was
no, not really.
And, I had this friend who was taking classes at Pasadena City College, and he was asking me, can you be in my directing class? I said, no, I don't want to do those anymore because there's always a problem with the professor. And I said, find somebody else. So he's like down to the day, and I said, fine, I'll do it. So I do it. Turned out well. They said, can you put your headshot up on the wall for anybody else? I said, sure. 6 months later, Adam, who's the director of photography for our recent feature and works with Telly and Henry a lot, said, hey, I have this directing class thing. Can you do it? And I just happened to have the next day off. I said, sure. And then 6 months later, he said, hey, I have this friend Telly. He's doing a directing reel. Can you be in it? I was like, sure. So I did that. And then years later, I asked him, I said, hey, I want to make a movie. Can I hire you? And that's when we became best friends and love.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's like a process. And then you guys just clicked because you guys realized you each had different talents that you could like use together.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And we all
Yeah,
get along well.
Lorenzo does the talk most of the time.
No way.
He's got the biggest mouth and he's very persuasive. Yeah, he can pretty much convince you to do anything that he wants. Very charming guy, that's for sure. He's Italian, so no doubt about that. Right, Lorenzo?
Definitely. We all let our own heads well, and we get along well, which is very nice when you find people that you get along with, mesh, and it's really nice.
So when did you guys actually become like a business where you're like, this is going to be our production company?
Well, we started collaborating in 2014 because with my first short, I had done some. They hired me to be an actor, and then some time that went by, and I wanted to get into making my own films because I found not a lot was happening in my life with acting. So then I wrote a short, and I called Kelly, and I said, "Hey, Kelly, can I hire you to help me with filming and post production?" I had no idea how to do it. And then we had so much success with that one that we led to another one and another one. And another.
That is so cool. So what was the first project that you guys, I know you said back in the school, what was the first one that you put out there for the public as a production company with your films?
Would it be the short, right, Kelly?
That's the moment, right? The short film. Lorenzo, remember that you shot yourself in the head? I had to do a post production that he blew his brain up.
How fun was that editing that part, Henry?
Oh, that's actually my the first time I actually have to do some complicated post production. I have to make sure that the blood exploded in the right direction, making sure that it looks realistic. Have to track the hole on his neck so that when he moves around, it looks realistic. It's stuck on his body, so it's a learning process. But I'm getting really good at it now. I can make his head, I don't know, split in 8 different pieces.
Well, you know, a funny story about that, when my mom saw that, she was crying and all mad at me because apparently in the 60s, I had a relative who accidentally shot himself right there. And I never knew about it.
Wow.
So, yeah. So we'll make everything awkward now.
Oh my! I can't believe they didn't tell you that story. It's their fault if they didn't tell you about that.
Yeah, but I think the first thing we put out there, we did the short film that went to film festivals. But through that, we met distributors, and then we did our first feature that went out there called Into Darkness. That's now streaming on Amazon, YouTube, Play Blue, and iTunes.
Into Darkness. Okay, so is it mainly short films, or have you guys put out a feature film?
We mainly do features. We started out doing short films. Yeah, and it's called Into Tartarus. It's a tough one. Telly came up with that, right, Telly?
What's it called?
Into Tartarus.
Oh.
Tartarus means deduction. And actually, half of the film we shot in 2007, and the other half we shot in 2017. I want to say we mentioned it, but it's not true.
So, who creates the brainchild? You create the idea, and then you write it, and then it goes down. Kind of like how we're set up right now. It goes like the L shape. That's awesome. Do you ever bring in other people or like their stories, and then you take over it? How has it worked your career of having this business?
Well, for now, I think we all have so many ideas that we're just funneling with each other. We haven't yet worked with someone else bring in their script and we develop it.
You haven't done that yet. It's just all been in-house.
Yeah, we have been in-house, but we're it's funny. We're 2 separate production companies that collaborate together.
Okay, so tell us about that. What happened? You said 2 separate production companies that collaborate together. Who was first?
Telly and was first.
So Telly, you're the one that had your production company, and then you collaborated with Lorenzo.
Oh yeah, I think we established from the Earth production maybe 2009. So we started that, and we learned how to produce, and I try to improve my craft, and then we met Lorenzo, of course, and from there Lorenzo also began to learn how to be on the production side, because before that he was mainly an actor. But then working with him for a while, he also began to discover he had that writing side of him and the producing side of him, and eventually he wanted to start his own production company as well. And so we decided to do this joint collaboration. I think that the first major project we did was Into Toddlers, the one that he talked about. That's the one. That's a feature production that we released together as a co-production.
And then from there on, you branched on your own. It was like the three amigos.
Yeah, the happiest day of Kelly and Henry's life is when they met me and I met them.
Isn't he so modest, you guys?
I like Lorenzo because I like that positive energy, because I'm more of a pessimist.
Yeah,
so I need that inspiration. Like, I need that spirit of wanting to conquer the world. So you always bring that part into the project, and I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing we can expect from you guys? Because you've done a few, and you said you had some stuff coming up, Lorenzo. So hopefully you can dish on it. Tell us what's coming up.
Something pretty. I'm so excited about it. See, that's what's so good about working with these guys is I've tried to collaborate with other people, but it's horrible. It's like a bad marriage when if you guys don't.
It's true. It's you have to have that good team.
Yeah, during production, I had somebody who said I'm done and walked off. And so, but we made a rule actually with each other that every idea we have, we're gonna put it out there. So that's where we're on next project, American Hun Story, which you're gonna watch it and you're gonna be so entertained in so many different ways. Isn't that right, guys?
So when's that coming out? Is that just in the pre-production phase, or you guys have shot some of that?
We actually finished it a day before quarantine.
That was lucky.
It was very lucky. Yeah, we finished it the day before quarantine. It's been in post-production now. Henry, who's extremely modest, rocks visual effects. He does amazing things with it. Both these guys, Kelly and Henry, they just, when they want to step up the film game, they get books, they read, they figure it out, and then it happens.
So when can we see that? Is it edited? Is post over?
We are still in post-production, but it's really close to being done. It's
still in post-production.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
so
trying to wrap it up. There's a lot of crazy things in there, special effects.
Something tells me you're a perfectionist too, so you're like making sure every little detail is perfect.
Lorenzo, how come we never asked Sparkle to be part of this?
That's a good question, Lorenzo.
She would have been a perfect Hun lady.
We call the Hun lady. So
this project is interesting, but there's a phrase called Hun lady, and he's saying you would have been. Now it's a compliment because only the most attractive, beautiful women can be part of Mr. Hun's enterprise.
Awesome.
No.
Next time, whenever you want, I'm here. I'll go, because you guys are all based in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of your projects been shot out of Los Angeles. I know you travel everywhere for acting and stuff. Most of the projects the three of you guys are shot in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Yeah, but whatever we need to do or go, we need to do it. We shot some stuff in Vegas.
That ought to be fun.
I feel like whatever we need to do, we'll do. That's what's so good about what we're telling Henry. Yeah, next year we have a project coming out called So You Think You Can Act. It is the first acting competition show.
I love it.
It's an acting competition show, and it's advice on acting. We've interviewed studio heads in Vegas and big producers in LA, and it's so it's funny, it's educational.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so we're excited about that.
I can't believe no one came up with that before. I love it. So where is that? Where can we see that?
Well, that we are still in post-production editing, and because it's right now it's going to be like about 10 episodes, right, Telly?
10 episodes. Well, okay, so this is fascinating because you guys do feature films, you do short films, feature films, and now you're going to do TV?
Whatever it takes.
Well, how'd you branch into that? I know that's a different beast. So you've been talking to studio heads. Where do you know where we can watch it? What channel you're hooking up with or streaming
Right
service?
now, it's in post-production, and we are actually we've been having some email meetings because I don't know why. That's what the people who have the money want to do. So we've been having a lot of email meetings about it, watching things, and but it's pretty exciting because the first show that's going to actually, I think, because there's nothing for actors out there. There's absolutely nothing. There's actually a show for men working in front of hotel buildings, like the guy who opens the door. They have a reality show for that, but nothing for actors.
Is there a lot of improv in this?
Well, it's interesting. There's different parts when the actors come in and audition. They do an improv. There's part of the improv in the audition, and they do some pretty exciting things.
That's going to be, I can't wait for this. I really hope it goes out there and big because this is very fascinating. I can see everybody watching it that's not an actor, that is an actor. That's exciting.
Yeah, we're excited. We shot some here, we shot some in Vegas, and it's really, really, really cool. It's going to be exciting, I think, for people because no matter if you're an actor or whatever you want to do, I think you'll be able to find that you can apply the principles to any dream you might have.
So are all of you guys on set when you guys start filming? Because Henry, you do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Are you always there or you just come in periodically?
No, I have to be always on the set because sometimes, actually most of the time, they have technical questions because we use green screen to do some of the CGI visual effects. So I have to be there to make sure that we capture all the footage in accordance to my technical needs. If we messed up one of the shots, and then that's going to be a disaster. I can't put it together in post-production. So I have to always be there.
What's the most stressful experience you guys have come across that you guys can talk about?
Wow.
I guess Lorenzo can say a lot.
Well, the strangest people in the world. Millions of them want to do it, and then you get to a set and you act like a moron. So we had. Well, this might be not stressful, but we had an actor who we were shooting, and first day of set, we had all this money. We were like, let's just pay an actor, so we don't hold the money and lose it. So we paid her, and then we're setting up the shot, and Telly comes to me and goes, "She's leaving." She ran in her car and took off.
After she signed a contract and everything?
Yeah, she came back like an hour later. She said, "I had to pay my rent. When you gave me the money, that was just enough to pay my rent, so I had to go pay it." And I was just like, "What's wrong with you,
But you guys used her because she came back an hour later, right?
She came back. It's understandable.
I know that it's stressful to find someone last minute, so if you use her, don't feel bad about it. Like, we get it.
We even had another actor. We said, okay, we want to do rehearsals before we shoot. So take a month, go over the script, and when we meet, we're going to rehearse at a studio that we rent so we can drill it and memorize the lines. She shows up a month later, never looked at the script once, and then said she didn't like the movie. So it's...
Those are some interesting tales. I got to hear. That's a first for me to hear.
Yeah, but Telly and Henry are very patient. They're way more patient than I am. So that's why it's on the set no matter what, it's the director's in charge. Me, I have a big mouth. I'll say something stupid. So,
Well, who does the casting? How are you guys finding these characters? Henry, how do you allow these girls to get through?
Actually, I don't do the casting part. It's majority of the casting are done by Lorenzo and Telly.
Oh,
They
so
usually,
it's
they-
your fault.
Yeah, because Telly's the director, so he'll say, "Yep, this is the one," or "Nope, that's not good." Right, Telly?
I think for the project American Hunt Story, which is the one that we were going to release soon, the problem with casting was the girls, like a lot of them didn't seem to understand what they were doing, and then they did the job, and then they
Or the
regretted.
script?
Some
Did they
of
not
them,
understand the script? They didn't grasp the meaning of it?
yeah, we try to describe the project as clearly as we can, but then some of them still misunderstood what they did, and then some of them were like even ashamed of what they did or something. But I don't understand. I just don't understand how.
Exactly.
And we pay pretty well for the amount of work that they had to do.
I want to pay less.
But some of them just, I guess they just didn't grasp the idea.
Well, here's a
project,
real
so-
reality TV show. This is a real acting reality TV show, just behind the scenes on your guys'.
Well, you should know a little bit about what
Yeah,
you're
I guess they just they probably didn't read the description of the job, and a lot of these actresses or even actors, they're so eager to find work, they'll just accept it without understanding the detail fully. And when they showed up, they found out, oh, this is what I need to do. I totally don't sign up for that. And then some of them they didn't even show up, right?
Well, what'd you make them
Lorenzo and Telly,
do?
I
Can
think.
you say? I mean, now I'm curious. Lorenzo, you have that face.
with the Hunt Story, it's a comedy, and it's about this guy Daniel who's having trouble in life, and he gets some help. He gets a superpower from another dimension, let's just say, and these women from this other dimension come out and help him. So with this particular thing, they just had to dance. That's all they had to do.
With their clothes on. Oh, and they didn't want to do that. Aw.
So they were paid. They knew about it. Telly was really good about that. He's like, he tells them, you're gonna have to do this. And they're like, oh yeah, this and that. So they couldn't do some like sexy dancing. So
Why wasn't that the audition phase, guys?
No, it was clear. We put it there, and we only got.
And they
girls.
did it?
They said, oh yeah, we can do it, and no problem.
Oh, but you didn't watch them do it.
We didn't watch them, right, Telly? Like there was no audition. It was just based on pictures, right?
See, and that's part of the fun. How did you guys not do that in the casting?
So then we called and we talked to them, and we're like, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do the sexy dancing? They're like, sure, no problem. And it got so strange that Telly's like, we're gonna have to like come up with some sexy dancing. So off camera, we had a list of dancing sexy. So I'm off camera, and I'm off camera going, okay, smart. Okay, and so I'm off camera doing this, and my wife is laughing. She's like, what people do exciting dancing to a man? I mean, aren't men like the most easiest things to make it exciting?
Lorenzo, you should have just slapped on, some makeup and tried to like just.
I'm here, right?
Okay, so can I ask you guys a kind of personal question? You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I think a lot of people want to know, especially because it's a hard business. Is this something you guys make a living off of, or do you have a day job and this is something else?
Who wants to go first?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you guys don't have to answer.
Well, we're waiting for.
Sometimes I talk too much, so I don't want to talk all the time and take up their time. Right? Go ahead. I can pay half of my bills with that, so I'm very proud of that. But I pay half. The other half, I do financial.
That's good to know. Oh, well, you're a guy that can come in handy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can do sexy dancing.
You're a one-stop shop.
That's it.
So Telly,
Yeah.
what do you do when you're not doing this?
Well, I mean, I've done something before I started the film production, and that helped. And I think we also, besides doing the film production stuff, we also do some commercial based stuff. And
Because
there's
you
a
guys
little
have
bit
all the
of that.
equipment and the film stuff, so you do that's awesome. So
Yeah,
if we
we could
wanted to
do,
make a commercial, we could hire you. For small
Yeah.
businesses or any type of business, we could hire you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can do those, and so that helped. And then obviously there are, family members and other people who believe in us and try to help us when time's needed. So that comes in the part as well. So you just do whatever you can to keep doing what you like, basically.
I love it. Henry, what do you do? I feel like
Exactly.
you're painting murals or something when you're not doing this.
Well, I do have a Monday to Friday job. I'm actually a mechanical engineer. So I went to school.
You're brilliant,
then,
huh? With the
I went-
music and the engineering.
You know how I got into this filming business, especially in post production. I found out that through my school studies in engineering, I get to learn all these amazing, fantastic softwares, engineering softwares. But the same thing can be applied to post production software. So that's the most rewarding part.
I've
I
never heard
actually
that. That
went to
makes a lot of
engineering.
sense.
Yeah, all these softwares, it takes very logical mindset, or you need to have a good sense of logic on how to put layers and all these different commands and instructions. So it's not like a one day thing that you can just pick up and learn. So I think it's very rewarding that I went to engineering school and I can apply the same concept into film production.
I love
But at the same
that.
time, I'm a great. I love music as well because I started playing piano when I was 13. But I gotta thank Telly. Well, he's my brother. I gotta thank Telly that he's the one that actually started asking for a keyboard from our parents. But then he ended up quitting on the piano, and I picked it up. I started playing this keyboard, and then I found out how fascinating the sound of piano is. So I started playing the piano ever since until now. So I give credit to you, Telly.
Because
I
of me
love this.
quitting.
I see great things happening for you guys. I mean, Lorenzo's a goofball, but he was smart to get you guys.
Oh, we're lucky to have him. It's a mutual.
No, that's great because you guys seem to be
Oh,
really
yeah,
smart and
definitely.
technical, and he's like the creative genius. I'm just giving you a hard time, Lorenzo, because it's fun. But that's a great merging of the three of you. It's like three minds that just are constantly. I would love to see your production meetings. That's got to be a trip.
Sometimes happen in the drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are
No,
you
but
driving
we're
to Vegas?
Yeah, pretty much.
really coming out.
That's how we came up with the American Hun story, right? Pretty much.
Oh, that's
Just
right.
trash talk each other and other people, and there goes the project.
We even got
we
a
want to
phone
follow
number.
you
for
guys
that.
everywhere. We got to follow you guys on Instagram, social media. So, do you have like shirts with your logo on it? I want to sport that.
Yeah, that's well, after this.
We do have one for the American Hun story. It's a pink shirt, right? A pink T-shirt with the H4F and a heart shape. I'll take a
It's a
picture and
polo
send it
shirt.
to you.
I'll wear it. Okay, so
Oh,
where
well,
can
that would
I
be
see
an
the
honor.
future? Where can I see what you're doing? Your next move is? Do you guys post it on Instagram? Do you have a website? How can we see what you guys are doing and keep up with you?
Well, our new feature, American Hunt Story. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at American Hunt Story. That's due out. Hopefully this year. We have some meetings with some networks, so we're still trying to get the best deal to make that go out. And you can find our features. Into Tartarus is on all streaming services, as well as Telly and Henry have a martial arts film. Telly and Henry are actually really good martial artists.
Is there anything you guys can't do?
Actually, really badass. they're like very badass. They have a feature called A Fiend's Love, starring both of them, and you can find that on streaming services too, as well as our other shorts like self help and whatnot.
So you guys are trained martial artists. When do you find time to do that?
Yeah, Telly used to be a certified instructor, right, Telly? Or Sparkle, you know Bruce Lee, right? Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in this world doesn't know Bruce Lee. So I think Telly used to be a certified instructor that teaches the true lineage from Bruce Lee. The Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah, I did that for a couple years, and then I kind of wanted to just study on my own, so I didn't take Lorenzo as my student.
Yeah, that is a big argument.
So Lorenzo, you do martial arts too?
Well, I did Taekwondo, but I always wanted to learn Jeet Kune Do, but he won't teach me. He won't. I can't pay him. He doesn't like me, apparently.
I don't think you can afford him. I mean, he's.
I've offered lots of things, money, strippers, but nothing works. Nothing works.
I can't wait. Okay, so for martial art films lovers, which I know a lot of them, where can we find that?
So Fiend's Love is
It's out?
Martial arts.
Yeah,
So what
Fiend's
streaming
Love is
service? Netflix?
Amazon, YouTube, Google Play, Voodoo, and iTunes.
Oh my god, I want to check it out. You guys are so fascinating. Really quick, Lorenzo, tell us about the last film that you just wrapped.
Oh, The Girl in the Mountain,
Chess.
where I had a giant beard that I could not wait to get off.
That was so hot.
Yeah. Oh, you liked it? Wow, well, that's good. I'll make sure to grow it next time I see you at Matt's. No, well, you know Matt Scott. I worked with him on his. I met him. That's why I tell people, short films are so good because short films about. I met Telly and Henry, and they're awesome. And I worked well together. And then I met people doing. I found distribution with our short films, and I met Matt Scott. And Girl in the Mountain is coming out, I think, Christmas time or early next year.
Nice. Shout out to Matt Sconce. He's been on the show too. This is just great. You guys have so much going on.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
Do you guys have a collaborative Instagram for the company?
We each have our own.
No, I don't think so. We have
just
a
projects.
production and then just projects. Project-wise.
We'll follow you guys on everything. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. This is honestly the most talent I've had. This is such a talented episode. I love it.
Well, you made it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, if you need anyone that you need anybody to help you to do any fight choreography, we can definitely help you out with that. Telly's a certified instructor.
I love that. And then Lorenzo can be the person that I practice on.
Yes, I can't help you with the
Hey, Lorenzo, I thought you're learning jiu-jitsu, right?
I started learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so this way, next time I ask him, I can beat his ass.
So you guys, if you need a financial planner, a fight choreographer, a piano, so you compose music. So if we need any of that, this is a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Sure.
And if you need a stripper, got Lorenzo.
It's a funny story. It's got great effects, and during this time of craziness, and bad things are happening everywhere. I think this is a movie you don't have to think about. You just watch, going, wow, that's very strange and hilarious.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sparkle.
Thank you very much for having us.
Well, have a good night. Safe out there. Oh, don't forget to.
Hey guys. So it's 9:30 p.m. I've been working since 7:30 a.m. Long day. I've dropped significantly behind in the race, but there's still hope. Let's still get in those free votes. And let's do a little bit of the paid votes. Every dollar goes to wounded warriors. And right now, until 8 p.m., every dollar doubles as a vote. So if you put $10 in, it counts as 20 votes. it's occurred to me that I may not win since I've dropped a little far behind. But I don't think Logan should walk away empty-handed if I don't win. So I saved a little money since I work a little bit. I want to do a match. Every dollar that gets thrown in until 8 p.m. tomorrow, I am going to match up until $1,000. So that means if we raise $500 for the contest, that's going to go to Wounded Warriors. I'm going to do the $500 to Logan. I can do that all the way up to $1,000. After that, that gets a little bit pricey, but I hope we can at least get that so that we can at least give something to Logan, because he needs to go to San Diego to get some medical work done within the next few weeks. It's funny because I actually was pretty sad a couple months ago. I didn't get a stimulus check, didn't get unemployment. I was like, woe is me. But then a few weeks ago, I started working like I usually do, and things got a little better. And I don't have the struggles that Alyssa has. Alyssa has to go to bed at night being sad because her son doesn't feel good. Logan has to go to bed feeling sick, getting needles poked in him. I know today he was tired. These people have real problems. I at least am able-bodied, I am well, I am physically healthy to actually work. And that already makes me lucky. And we've gotten so far in this race, and it's all because of you guys. I wouldn't even have a shot at winning this if it wasn't for you. So that also makes me lucky. The further we take this, the more we can help them. And it's not all for nothing. This is the little bit that I could do to contribute and pay back for all of you guys. This wouldn't even be possible right now if it wasn't for you guys. So let's get those paid votes in. If we get $1,000 of actual dollars by 8 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday, I am going to give $1,000 to Logan. That will be 2,000 votes for me. And that's going to get me that much closer to $20,000. So I can give Logan a lot more than just $1,000. But hopefully the $1,000 will help that trip to San Diego. I love you guys. Stay positive, and thank you so, so, so much for helping. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Sparkle Show. With us, we have Priam. How are you?
Good. How are you? It's actually Priyam. Nice to meet you.
Sorry, my bad.
It's all
I'm
good.
close
Everybody
to
gets
somebody with a name similar. That's why I got to confuse.
It's all good. Everybody gets it wrong. So.
No, I don't like that. I mean, I'm going to get her at Priam. That sounds beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Priam.
Your name is beautiful. Sparkle.
Thank
what name can be better than Sparkle?
You do a lot of things. You wear a lot of different hats. The first thing I want to talk about is your incredible abs, but we'll put that down the line. You act. You do a lot of physical things. You take photography. Tell us about your career and all the many hats you wear.
Oh, well, thank you for asking this question. It's more in the progress of growing the hats into bigger hats. So what happened was, like, when you start your career as an actress, what happened, becoming an actor is what opened up all my other entrepreneurial skill sets out of necessity. Because you know what happens when you start out as an actor, you find out sooner or later, okay, you're going to need some avenues to make more and more money. So it automatically increases the hustle in you. So that's how all this stuff happened. But we could go in linear chronological order, however you want to go. What would you like to know?
Okay, tell us from the beginning. So how you came, acting was always your gag. When did you move to Los Angeles?
Yeah, I moved to Los Angeles like over 7 years ago. I came here with nothing, like no knowledge or wisdom or anything about the acting industry at all. I just basically, not even actors' headshots. Yeah, so my first job was here actually at Gold's Hollywood as a personal trainer. And I was doing that for a while and get my feet wet, getting familiar with LA, how things go. And eventually I started with the process with classes, auditions, and figuring out more and more what I'm going to do. And then I figured out a way how to get into the union as fast as possible. So I produced my own comedy short called Cheaters Relief. You can still watch it online if you want. Did that to put myself in SAG. And it was an ongoing curve since then.
Well, what was the first gig that you got when you got your SAG?
The first, yeah. The first big gig that I got was probably a Pizza Hut commercial. It was an it was an international Pizza Hut commercial where they had like people of all different nationalities. They had like French people, Moroccan people, this people. So I was a South Asian Bengali person. So it was really cool. Pizza Hut commercial, all speaking in their different languages. I guess you could say that was the first big gig that I got. Then continuing on, I don't know if you got to go through my resume on IMDb here. The next big TV show that I got was Hollywood Heights. It wasn't actually the same episode as James Franco, so that was a cool television role. And then did a couple of movies. Sorry, hang on a second. Can you hear these people?
A little bit. It's okay.
Okay.
Tell us about the
This is like
fitness.
some-
How did you get into
Okay.
fitness from there? Have you always been into fitness, or that just kind of happened naturally?
Well, no, yeah, the fitness thing has been there before. The fitness thing has been there from like before I came out here. And that actually what inspired it, because from the modeling days, like the first thing how I got into fitness was you remember those Bowflex commercials back in the day where they so that's how I started. When they had those Bowflex commercials, I was like, I need to get a body like these guys. Of course, they don't hire the models in those Bowflex commercials. They're like gym worked out guys using them for the Bowflex commercials. But yeah, so I started with the Bowflex, and then I started with the gym, and that's what happened. And I like, look, I'm having pretty nice development, so I'm going to start modeling. I started doing some modeling photos, and that's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. While I was finishing college, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Hollywood, become an actor, but done with the school stuff. So that's how this whole thing kind of like came about, I guess. Yeah.
So you also got into finance. Do you want to elaborate on that? You went from modeling, fitness, acting, and now you're doing some finance. Tell us a little bit about that business.
Yeah. Well, okay. I am going to talk about the finance. There's actually a couple more acting things I want to tell you about, which are on a bigger side, but I don't know, like, if you want to hit those now
That's
or later.
okay.
Or...
Whatever. Yeah. Tell us.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I was telling you about the smaller parts, like in linear order. Like, my biggest television role. Yeah, my biggest TV roles. Since we're continuing with the acting career, I guess I'm going to plug that right now. Okay, more up to closer to 2020 area. I was on a guest star in Criminal Minds Beyond Borders. So I had scenes with the Academy Award nominated Gary Sinise. That was a big
I love
TV
Gary.
part. Yeah, I was on Beyond Borders, season 2, episode 5. You can check that out. And then I was also on Grace and Frankie a couple of years ago. I was on the Late Late Show with James Corden as a surprise comedic bodybuilder. You need to check that. You need to check that out on YouTube. The funny thing about the James Corden bodybuilder is because you don't expect, if you watch the segment, you understand what that is, because they don't expect like my type to be a bodybuilder, because it's a game show. So it's like where people pop out of these boxes, you only see their heads, and they have to guess who is what, like from inside the box. So they don't expect like whatever number I was to be the bodybuilder. So that was like the surprising thing about that. They had all these other characters like a contortionist and an Elvis and this type of stuff. So that was a James Corden gig. I had another Academy Award winning multiple award winning movie called Dreams I Never Had. It was on Amazon Prime for a while. It has Malcolm McDowell in it. It's a family movie with a human trafficking story. That's pretty cool. Thank you. And actually, there's a really nice comedy, which is my biggest directorial, also called Match.con with an N. So it's exactly what it sounds like. You got to watch that on Amazon Prime too.
I feel like a catfish story coming on.
Yes, kind of. Funny you say catfish. I was actually on an episode of the Catfish TV show too.
Your resume is so extensive.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was going in linear order from the baby steps when we first started talking. So I didn't know how much you want me, because like I said, I got to look through my resume and IMDb. So I did this year, this year.
Well, that's what happens when you do a lot. You kind of forget. So you're like, oh, and I did this. And
I'm sorry. I didn't know what. I didn't know how much. Yeah, I didn't know how much you wanted me to keep on and on about that. But I was going in linear order. So yes, that's cool. I have another movie called Melrose 86 that's coming out. It's probably next year. It's kind of like a terrorist war movie, and I've got a bit part in the current Christopher Nolan movie Tenet, if whenever that releases. So that should be very interesting. Okay, so I guess now we want to talk about the finance.
Because I find this really fascinating. This is
Yeah.
really smart that you started making some money and then you're like, this is what I want to do, investing. You're thinking long term, and that's really good because a lot of people don't, especially a lot of actors. So you really educate yourself and found something good. So tell us about that.
Thank you. This actually funny. This is real. What's really interesting about this is I actually have a college degree in finance, but I didn't learn jack in school. While I was while I was in school, all I was doing was getting my body ready for Hollywood, and I learned how to get grades. So that's what. But the real learning had happened in Hollywood in the real world. But no, here in the pandemic, because everything Hollywood shut down or whatever, so I channel my energy into learning a lot of stuff. So I'm doing a lot of things. I'm in the stock market now. I'm also into cryptocurrency, and I also developed a course which is very easy for people to understand, which is how to get a really high interest rate on any amount of money. So like say, for example, whatever bank you got, like if you got a savings account, Wells Fargo, Citi, Bank of America, Chase, whatever it is, do you know, whatever, you got a savings account, do you know what your savings account interest rate is?
I don't have a savings account.
Okay, you don't have to, well, anyone who does, you can ask your producer. Like whatever, I bet you it's less than 1%. So what I figured out is a strategy how to get over 10%.
Okay.
Now, if you understand the power of this, is extremely powerful. Like for example, and you can do it with any amount of money. Just like a normal savings account, you got to have like a minimum in there. Otherwise, you get fees and stuff. And
Right.
it's not even like a Roth. Yeah, and it's not even like a Roth IRA or something where it's like a retirement account you can't touch till you're 55. No, it's not that. If you could do it with any amount of money, and there's no minimum or maximum, and it compounds over 10% APR weekly. So, for example, you got like, this is great for people that have like some money that don't touch for years and years. For example, you got like $5,000 that's sitting in your bank account in your savings or whatever for years and years and years. You don't touch it. So not only sitting in your Wells Fargo savings, for example. So not only you're losing tremendous value in it in inflation every year, but you're not growing it at all. But with my strategy, you're making like 500 per year. 500 per year divided by 52 per week. So over time, if you think about it, like for example, like if you're a millionaire one day, you got $1 million saved up in cash. This is like retirement passive income growth. It's not like an investment where you have to watch your, like if you go down one day, it could go up one day. No, it's not that. It's all it is just a really high interest rate. So, and what's really interesting, like the rate used to be 8%, but it went up to like 10%, like literally last night.
Wow.
And I upped it. Yeah, I think it's because they added inflation. Like if you know what's going on with Wall Street and the Federal Reserve money printing stuff right now. So it's crazy. So yes, from 8%, even the $1 million of 8%, you're generating like $80,000 a year in passive income, or $1,500 a week, and you could pull it out and add to it anytime. So
you
that's
offer like a training on this or like a class on it. Tell us about your website.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about
I've got a
what
full
you offer.
a course on this, how to do this.
So when did you start that, and how did you figure this out yourself?
This is interesting how I figured it out. I figured it out because I told you I got into the whole the finance thing in the pandemic. I started in the stock market and cryptocurrency. I'm doing both. And I started studying the interest rates that counts what's happening with the unemployment right now. It's high. We're right now, like a couple of months ago, we had almost as close as high unemployment since the Great Depression. It was as big as that. Like it's like really bad right now. So I started studying all this stuff, and that's like I figured out how to do this, and I just designed like a course about it, and then it's there like on my website in the source section.
This is really cool. How much does it cost to take your online class?
It's $60.
That's cheap. You're telling us how to make
It is
a lot
cheap.
of money. Because it
is cheap.
That
Yeah.
more.
But the thing is, like, once you learn this, it's like it's there forever. Like you could do this with $5 or 5,000,000, 5,000, how much ever you want. It's your money using how much you want to do with it. I'm just teaching you how to do it.
So what's next for you? I know we're on a little bit of a hiatus because of COVID. What are some of the things that you're in the works of after this is all over?
Yeah, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel more, my own content creation. I'm planning on producing some more stuff that I can, and I'm continuing my photography. So I'm looking to shoot the future Miss Muscle and Fitness sometime soon. Hopefully that also works out good. And I'm trying to rack up this stock market money. before hitting up. I'm trying to see if I could become the Wolf of West Hollywood, put it in my 10% system by next year. So see how that goes. So I can have a successful, comfortable acting career going into 2021.
That is super cool. So you're pretty young to have accomplished all of this. Is there a project you're tied to though when COVID is over, like an acting project?
There's some podcast type of stuff that I'm doing right now. I'm filming, I'm taping. So whenever it comes out, like I post about it on my social media.
Oh, you don't have any like movies or TV shows that they said that they were going to do? Because
Yeah,
a
there's
lot of people
nothing-
when they
no,
got
there's no-
zapped, they had stuff that
Yeah,
got postponed.
The biggest one right now, literally, could be next week. I don't know if there's some news that may release in America or not. It's Tenet, the Christopher Nolan movie.
Oh,
If you've heard
wow.
about that one. You know, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I have a bit part in the scene with Robert Pattinson. So we have to see if it made the edit. So if it made the edit, but it was supposed to.
We know how that goes. Anybody acting knows that. We've all been cut at some point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it is cool though. Yeah, it is. What's really cool about that is like working with Christopher Nolan. Like when I got booked on that, like I didn't even know that because they don't tell you that who the director, what it is, what you're. They just give you your seat and they tell you the untitled this type of Warner Brothers project. Untitled Warner Brothers project. So they give you the information and you show up, and when you get in the room, you see like freaking Christopher Nolan, like trying to like giving you what to do. So you kind of take a moment to like just like soak into that, and then you do your scene. But it was cool, I did a quick part with Robert Pattinson, and so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that and the Melrose '86 movie. That's
What's it called?
Next. What's coming out? Melrose '86.
Melrose 80s. Is it for the show Melrose Place? Any correlation to that?
No, it's a war movie.
Oh.
It's just it's a war movie. And that's actually my first terrorist role, surprisingly, because of my type. I usually play like male stripper type of stuff, but this is my first terrorist role. So that's also interesting.
And you're very disciplined because you said you're still sticking with a diet. You look really good. If you want to show us your abs, you're welcome to.
I don't know. Check out. We'll pass on that for today.
What inspires you to keep it going? Because it's a really hard time right now with COVID and everything. People are getting a little bit, distracted.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, that's a very keep it. It's very interesting because the pandemic took a huge hit for a lot of the fitness people.
Right.
I'm sure you understand with the gym situation being closed on the first 3 months. Like my body type is the small, the ectomorph type. It's like really hard to like keep your muscle unless you're constantly training. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're constantly training and eating. So I think the first 3 months, it just stuck and was doing with the home stuff. But I'm just trying to build back up right now again since they started the outdoor situation just like a few weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like literally they opened like a few weeks ago. So I'm just trying to build back up again. And hopefully, I don't know if my main gym's even going to open up this year. I will see. But what keeps me going, I just try to be the best that I can to separate myself from the rest of the pack. Just have that constant go-getter attitude. Because whenever they put out a call, what separates you from the 10,000 other guys that are getting an audition for the same role? You always got to have the mentality to be the absolute best you can be at all times. Right. So I guess that drive, is what, keeps me going.
I love that. You're such an inspiration. I would like this. You're the kind of person we have to have back every 6 months to keep up with you and see what you're doing and what the next big move is.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, you too. Gonna be Miss Muscle and Fitness in like 2 days.
We hope. That's why I need everyone's votes, everyone's support, everybody doing their swipe ups on Instagram. Anybody with 10,000 plus followers can do a swipe up for me because I don't have 10,000 followers. So anything you guys can do to
I'll give you a swipe up.
I'll
give you a swipe up.
You mentioned in everything you're mentioning about doing a directing. So what was the role that you directed, the project you directed?
Oh, the comedy that I told you about?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my biggest. Yeah, Match.com.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah, that
was your directorial debut.
No, it was not my debut. It was the biggest one. It was the biggest one so far, and that's on Amazon Prime.
How do you go from that, from acting to directing?
I'm sorry, come again?
You went
I
from
didn't catch
acting to
that.
directing. So did you actually act in it as well as directed, or did you just directed it?
Well, no, this one I had a cameo role in.
Okay.
And my cameo role in this one is a very interesting. I play a gym douche in this one. An Arab gym douche with the accent and everything. So, but the very first project I did, I directed that also, and that was the one that I did to put myself in SAG, because I didn't want to, like, when I first started in the business, like anything, my personality type, like anything that I get into, like I focus on, I figure out like what's the fastest way like I can achieve the goal that I'm trying to reach. So when an actor first like starts in their career, like one of the biggest obstacles they face is how do I get in the Screen Actors Guild? How do we get qualified in the Screen? You know what I'm talking about. So
Right.
so for that I did my first comedy. That was a different comedy. That's back on the day. So yeah, I directed that also. So that was the first one. That's called Cheaters Relief.
Oh.
So yeah. No, I had some experience there, and I just picked it up, and I produced some comedy skits here and there. So you just like kind of like self-taught.
What do
All
you
the
like
greats
best?
like in.
Do you like acting the best out of between directing, producing, and modeling?
No, yeah, acting is definitely as far as my industry first love. Like, I'm not really interested for now. Like, while I still got my young studly looks, not directing something else that I'm not in. As I get older, become more maybe like a Clint Eastwood type. Maybe I'll be directing more then. So we'll see. No, but right now it's definitely like focus on the acting career takes focus first.
Thank you so much, Ryan. We really appreciate you taking the time out to come and hang out at the Sparkle Show.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Future Muscle and Fitness, for having me. So I'm gonna keep calling you that. I'm gonna manifest that towards you for you getting it.
Well, we will keep up with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.